I'm Tracy Baxter with today's Record Newswatch. It's 14 years in prison for James Harris, the 35-year-old Middletown man who pleaded guilty in September to manslaughter in connection with the bludgeoning death of Franklin Fitz back in 2006. Harris was sentenced today in Orange County Court. He had been serving a 27 years to life prison term when his murder conviction was overturned last year. Harris and James Blagman severely beat Fitz after accusing him of cheating them in a drug dispute. They then threw him in the trunk of a car and drove him from Middletown to Newburgh, where his body was eventually discovered in the abandoned vehicle. The cause of death was listed as a combination of head trauma and asphyxiation. Blagman was convicted of murder and later hanged himself in prison. Town of New Windsor police have identified the victims of the fatal one-car crash that happened early Sunday morning along River Road. One of the passengers, 26-year-old Fiorello Bacon of Newburgh, died after being flown to Westchester Medical Center. The driver, 22-year-old Joel Martinez of Highland Falls, suffered severe head injuries and is being treated at Westchester Medical Center. According to reports from the scene, the car overturned after going out of control at a curve in the road. It happened in a place called The Pits, an old sand pit off Route 284 in Westtown. It's where kids go to ride all-terrain vehicles, but Sunday things took a bad turn. For 15-year-old Spencer Loza, his ATV got stuck in mud described as very thick peanut butter or wet cement. When Spencer got off the vehicle, his waders got stuck. Then he sank in to his waist.
I was riding over there, and I went in a mud hole, and I got stuck. So I got in the front of my quad to try to push it while my friend pulled it, and I sunk, and I dug myself a hole. And I was there for the rest of the time.
Family members and friends tried unsuccessfully to free Spencer with ropes. They then called 911, bringing members of the Unionville Fire Department to the scene.
And he was in there for 2.5 hours, and we had friends try to come, and then I just called 911 because I was afraid. I didn't know what to do. We tried to wrap the tow rope around him, and his hands kept slipping off, and we put it under his arms, and he said it was just squeezing him. So that's why. And then I didn't think anyone was going to find us back here.
Firemen positioned ladders around the mud hole, allowing Laza to gain leverage and help rescuers pull him out 2.5 hours after the ordeal began. Now Spencer faces a different kind of threat from Mom.
So how are you feeling, the fact that, he's been rescued and...
He's been rescued, and I told the 911 operator that they might get another call later because I might kill him, and then they would have to come to my house to rescue him once again. So I don't know whether to hug him or kill him for doing this to me.
Also Sunday, a similar incident played out in Ulster County, where a man doing excavation work was rescued from a mud hole on his property in Phoenicia. It would be a learning experience for the 100 or so emergency responders who took part in a drill that simulated what would have been a horrific crash if it had happened for real. The collision of a school bus and a Metro North train. The 3-hour-long disaster drill played out Saturday at the Eddy Farm Hotel rail crossing in Sparrowbush. Personnel from about 15 local agencies took part with a challenge to effectively coordinate all the responders to assess the scene, remove victims, identify and prioritize injuries, and then transport the injured for treatment. Organizers will review the exercise and look for ways to improve emergency response and coordination. Authorities in Ulster County have arrested 2 women in unrelated cases involving the theft of thousands of dollars. 42-year-old Michelle Newman of Saugerties was charged with forgery and grand larceny for illegally withdrawing more than $100,000 from a special needs trust that she helped administer. And 23-year-old Amanda McGrath of Poughkeepsie's awaiting court proceedings following her arrest for felony grand larceny. McGrath is accused of stealing nearly $4,000 from an M&T bank account belonging to Kingston Hospital. Police say she forged a check with the hospital's account number. Investigators say McGrath was not an employee of the bank or the hospital. In Monticello, a suspicious neighbor helped village police with a burglary arrest over the weekend. The neighbors spotted 3 people going into a house on St. John Street and saw the beams from flashlights through a window of the unoccupied residence. When warnings to come out were ignored, arriving police officers sent K-9 Officer Rocco into the house. The K-9 quickly located 24-year-old Xavier Hinton inside, along with 2 teenagers who were not identified. All 3 were charged with felony burglary and criminal mischief. Hinton was additionally charged with endangering the welfare of a child. Those pushing for passage of the statewide casino amendment will like the results of a poll out today from Siena College. By a margin of 56 to 40%, voters contacted in the poll said they support the casino referendum that will appear on the November 5th ballot. The question posed to them included the ballot wording that touts the casino's intended benefits, including job growth and increased aid to schools. When voters were polled without the ballot wording, the generic casino question was approved by a margin of only 49 to 45%. Legal attempts recently failed to change the casino referendum wording that will appear on the ballot. Senator Charles Schumer says the time has come for an end to the delays in implementing the law that would require backup cameras in all newly manufactured vehicles. Schumer says Congress passed legislation requiring rear-view camera installation in all cars by 2011. The deadline has since been extended to January 2015. Supporters say at least 200 people die in preventable backover crashes. That's more than 40% of the victims are children younger than 5 years old. And it was the first, but it definitely will not be the last. That's according to Kathleen Rifkin, the director of the first ever Hambletonian Marathon and Good Time Trotters Relay in Goshen. 265 individual runners and 128 three-person relay teams tackled the 26.2-mile course on Sunday. Race started and ended in Goshen and ran through rural sections of the towns of Wallkill and Chester. Liam Quinn of Vernon, New Jersey was the top male finisher in a time of 2 hours, 55 minutes, and 9 seconds. Cindy Batzel of Honesdale, Pennsylvania was the women's winner. 27 relay teams raised $22,000 for the Eva Feeney Fund for Rett syndrome research. It won't be quite as chilly out there when you head off to work tomorrow morning. Tuesday's weather will feature a mix of sun and clouds, with temperatures getting up around 65 degrees. Wednesday will be mostly cloudy, with some rain expected during the morning hours. The highs will only reach the middle 50s on Wednesday. We'll get an edge on the day by starting it with the Times-Herald Record. And breaking news is just a click away right here at Record Online. For Record Newswatch, I'm Tracy Baxter.